Taurus, what is going on, my beautiful sisters and brothers? Thank you so much for tuning in. I got some Taurians out there that I want to spread my love to right now. Some of y'all are going through a pretty difficult time. Some of y'all are recovering from some really difficult changes in your life. Some voluntary, some involuntary. And I want to put out my love to all of you guys, because you know what? I want to tell you, I'm out there for you. I feel for you, and I can't honestly go through what you're going through, but the fact is, the only thing I can do is show my love. So in support to all of you guys. Uranus is doing a number, and you know what? Even though he's a Aries right now, it doesn't mean that your lives aren't changed in the effect of that. Now, I'm not saying this is Uranus's fault. I don't blame planets. I don't blame things. I don't blame the universe for anything. I feel like everything happens for a reason. But what I am saying, though, is that because it's such a difficult change for so many of you guys, and because there's so many things that are out of your control right now, even though you guys are the ones that hold us all down, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, Scorpios, you guys get hit the hardest, fixed signs, period. You guys get hit the hardest, and I want to say, I feel you guys. I'm reaching out to you guys. I love you, and let's go ahead and get started with this reading, okay? So, despite the ramble, guys, if you're unsure of your placements, go ahead and check the description box below. Also, guys, please remember that these readings may not resonate with everybody, and that is totally fine, because I do offer I do offer soulmate investigation readings on my Instantgo, but I also offer different types of readings as well on my website, so you don't have to feel like you have to resonate with this. So if it don't fit, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit, okay? At the same time, for those of you that may have gotten offended with that phrase, if it doesn't work, guys, don't make it fit. It's not going to help anybody, okay? So let's go ahead and see what your soulmate relationship is all about. Now, again, guys, my thing, if your soulmates can be anybody, co-workers, friends, family, lovers even, they don't have to be your partner. But if you do feel like that vibration resonates with your relationships, please do fit those in. So, I already pre-shuffled these cards here, but I'm going to shuffle them again. Alrighty. See what we got, family. Ooh, there's a lot of cards coming out, and I'm having a hard time shuffling. It's crazy. I be watching some crazy stuff on YouTube sometimes, and I was watching some rap battles, so I'm getting a little jittery because some bars can be some serious stuff. Okay, but anyway. All right, fam. So we got the mind plane, which is pretty much the mindset that both parties are going into this relationship with. Alright, this is the body, this is how you guys represent yourselves and how the other person represents themselves. Pretty much what you guys see in the relationship. Like, how you guys see each other. And this is the kind of foundation, the spiritual plane, where all of this energy is coming from, as well as the way you think, okay? Now, this is what brought you two together. I love this. I love it. But this is the difficulties that you guys both face. Hey man, finding the right balance is always a struggle, right? Kind of having to figure out what works and what doesn't, who has what temperament, and how do you manage that. There's a lot of things that go into it. And it's funny that this Page of Swords is coming up as the underlying energy, strictly because, right, this is about... Sorry about that, y'all. I had a quick interruption there. My bad. But yeah, this is about trying, cultivating a new truth, being true to yourself, right? Being brutally honest. That brutal honest truth from a child, and they start swinging that sword. I'm kidding. Kids don't tell the truth when they swing the swords. They just swing the sword earnestly, because honestly they don't know how to use it, right? It's words. It's the danger of words. It's the words that come out of your mouth that can hurt another person, because it's your belief of how they are, right? Because a truth is a truth is a truth, right? A truth is basically a moral compass, if that makes sense. It's an idea. It's a sense of belief, in a sense. It's how you believe. Like, so for instance, someone's truth may be that salsa is the bomb diggity, while someone's truth could be guacamole. Guacamole is the bomb diggity. That person doesn't know what they talk about. But the purpose of this whole thing is kind of coming to a certain consensus, as well as getting more information to come up with your own truth. In order for you to have your own truth, in order to know what you stand by, you have to have more information. And I feel like it's kind of awesome that the Page of Swords is your underlying energy, because I feel like the message here is really about getting more information and getting, having more facts to help you, continue to move forward, right? Now, the card that you guys have for your relationship is calling in your soulmate. Woo! So this person is being sent in. I don't think they're, now here's the thing, when this card comes up, I like to tell somebody, I like to tell everybody, sometimes, just sometimes, people don't know that they're soulmates. A lot of times people don't care. So a lot of times people don't believe in that stuff. A lot of times people don't recognize that they're a soulmate. Now again, the same time that this card is coming up for you, with regarding someone else coming in for you, it could be that you are being sent in as well. I like to see this card as like, hey, you're being sent into something. And yeah, your whole world's gonna change, right? There's a part of you that's gonna change. There's a part of them that's gonna change. Everybody's going through a soulmate connection. So they're being called into you, you're being called into them. It's a kind of it can be a mirroring process, right? It can be. It doesn't have to be a lot of the times, but you'll know the story that comes in for you. Some of you guys be like, yeah, I was definitely brought to my person that I'm with now, or yeah, my mom needed me, right? That can be a soulmate too, your mom. So everybody, everybody when it comes to soulmate, I like this card because it can mean, it can mean some awesome stuff, transformations, especially within the soul and with who you are. But it's interesting how one party has all wands here and the other person has a kind of a mixed bag. So, that being said, calling in your soulmate says your prayers and affirmations and visualizations help bring you together. So again, this here, your truth is definitely going to really put an impact into what you guys, make of the relationship coming about. It's so interesting that the Knight of Cups is in here, right? Dreams, affirmations, and visualizations is practically what this Knight of Cups is all about. Your heart's desire, your dream come true. Okay, and I feel like the Page of Swords is like that needed conversation, but as well as getting more information so you can come up with a consensus. So I feel like this whole thing kind of plays hand in hand. It's a nice little mixed basket of things to jump into. Now both parties are going through fives. They're going through a serious amount of change. So that's why I was saying, like, while you're coming into, somebody's coming into your life, you may be being called to them too. So it's like a nice little and interesting magnetic effect. And both of you guys are both going through some turmoil in your own minds. One person is kind of taking the mindset of, I have to make sure that I, do everything I can to get what I want. Now, a lot of the times it doesn't indicate, indicate, sorry about that, guys. It doesn't indicate that this person is trying to get something out of you, right? It doesn't mean that. Sometimes it can mean that this person is trying to protect the relationship and do everything they can to prevent the relationship from, from being, not necessarily being destroyed, or necessarily, just being, being taken away from them. Something, they're trying to protect themselves. They're doing everything they can to make sure the relationship is maintained, right? Makes sense and continues in a good positive flow. So in that sense, a lot of times they'll do things that will cause the relationship to do exactly what they didn't want to do. So I feel like this person here is taking the approach of kind of like, I got to make sure this is right. I got to make sure this is correct. I got to do this, got to do that, I got to do this. And they are sticking to a certain mindset that is not necessarily open-minded to other people's perspectives, because they're trying to make sure that they are not going to get gypped out of something, or that their backs are covered, which can lead to self-sabotage. Well, your side here, which again, guys, as I usually do, right? If this side don't resonate, go ahead and go on this side here. If the whole reading don't resonate, remember, do not make it fit. But with this person on this side here, I feel like they've got definite turmoil. They got turmoil, they've got conflicts, but they're like trying to figure out whether or not, what rings true to them, or what techniques they can gather with the situation. They're kind of learning. It's a very learning type of perspective from this individual. They see this relationship as a challenge that they're welcoming. Okay, like I think this person wants this too much, if that makes sense. Like this person really wants this, while this other person here, like again, it could be you, Taurus. You guys see this as an opportunity for growth, not just for the, not just for the benefit of the relationship, but for yourselves. And I like that. The same thing with this individual. I see that this person sees great value in this relationship, and they do not want anything bad to happen. So what are they doing, right? So what's going on? This person is taking on a very crap ton of stuff, and they're really carrying it. They're trying to carry it through. They're trying to pretty much like carry the burden of the relationship, so that way you don't feel like you have to do anything. Or maybe I feel like this person is offsetting the balance situation here because they want to make sure this relationship works. They're committed, they're dedicated, they're stable, they're in it, and they see, if this is them, they see themselves as in the relationship as your other half. Well, this could be even you. They're committed to you. They see you as the person that they want to, you know, show reliability towards, show, you know, dedication to. This person is legitimate in regards to stabilizing, and at the same time, I think this person, if you guys are not in a relationship yet, right, because it does indicate here that, hey, you're calling in your soulmate, this person may not be yours quite yet. They're showing that they're reliable, they're showing that they're dedicated, they're showing that they're committed, because they're ready to settle down. They're ultimately ready for something that lasts them as long as they can fight and push for the relationship. Well, you see this more as a challenge, because a lot of things are in your life are kind of going, not topside, but a lot of changes are happening. Lots of things are being offset, right? So you're having to kind of roll with the punches. And this is a situation where you're kind of integrating that in, because it's kind of going along with a lot of the things that are kind of being, you know, jumbled, right? So at the same time, I feel like this person here is trying their very hardest to do things that they really don't need to do, shouldn't do, in the regards of getting in a relationship with you. Not because they're desperate, not because they really need it, but because they want it. They're ruthless. They'll go and get it. They see something, want it, they like it, they'll go get it, and they'll do things to make sure that happens, even though it may be sabotaging their efforts. And it's not because they're just greedy or weird. It's because I feel like this person truly wants to be in a situation where they can feel comfortable, and I think they see that with you. Now, on the other hand, you kind of you have the Page of Wands here, so I feel like it's pretty interesting. I kind of see the situation as you're just kind of enjoying yourself, kind of taking it easy. You're not really taking this relationship in a very serious light, only because you're not really given a lot of responsibility to be serious, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of you guys have kind of gotten that weight lifted off of you versus, you know, that weight being onto them. It's an interesting dynamic, right? How the Six of Pentacles, which is the challenge for the both of you, does indicate, you know, the scales. It goes back to justice, where there's the scales, the balancing of the two things, right? One offsets the other. If there's a, you know, one has to give while the other one has to put, you know, they both have to give of themselves in order for there to be a balance. And I feel like this person has to give up what they're carrying for you to be able to carry the, you know, to be able to represent in the relationship a little bit more. Because right now, I feel like you guys are starting fresh, and you're kind of honestly in a position to start anew, honestly ready to kind of jump into something that's a little more exciting, a little bit more passionate. Well, the other person's kind of bogged down. That's kind of like, you know, carrying a lot of weight. And I see this person, at least this person here, if this is not you, or if this is you, Taurus, I hope, you know, whatever you guys are, right? I feel like this person here with the Page of Wands, they're ready for a new adventure. They're ready to get something started here. And I feel like this person at the same time, because of this Five of Wands here, they're seeing this relationship as a challenge, because I feel like they're kind of, they want to start something, they want to jump into it, but they don't really know, not because they don't know where to go, but they, you know, it's really weird. It's like this person has got a lot of stuff going on in their mind, and it's like they're ready to kickstart, they're ready to get started, they're ready to get this ball rolling, but they're not quite settled up here quite yet. Like they're still kind of sorting through the, you know, the conflict, sorting through the, you know, the mess up top, you know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily a mess, I'm saying that they're just going through their inner turmoils, whether to get involved, like, and I think this has a lot to do with what is authentic to them, what is their real passions, because they're going through, and they have a lot of different ideas and different, you know, different aspects of themselves that they're trying to figure out which one is worth pursuing, what tactics they're going to use. You know, they're really sifting through a lot of their own personal stuff for their own well-being. And I feel like even though this person here is ready to take off, I think this person at the same time isn't. Now, it's really interesting here too. This person with this Page of Wands could also indicate that that they have extended an offer, maybe something lighthearted, nothing really serious, and this person was like, I'll cover everything, kind of like holding Urgil. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to kind of put myself out there a little bit. Let's have some get together, let's go out for drinks, or let's have a little fun. And this person's like taking care of everything, the reservations, yada yada yada. So this person here is like going through their own mental battle, not in a sense of like this is like wartime, because this person has more of the war type energy here than this Five of Wands. This Five of Wands is more of a challenge. I feel like ultimately this person's got a lot of things that are changing, and they're trying their new self out, if that makes sense. I think there's a lot of things that they're not quite certain on right this moment, even with regards to how they will behave, what they who they are. And I think this is giving them the opportunity to be whoever they are without the obligation of the traditions, of old ways of doing things, of other people telling them how they should and shouldn't be. I think they're pretty much trying to figure out who they are ultimately. Back to where I was talking about with the Page of Swords, right? Of cultivating your own truth, right? By getting information. I think this person's coming in to help, if this is you, Taurus, to help redevelop yourself, right? Now, the reason why all this is coming up here is because of the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands is very interesting because I think that there is some things that honestly that you guys are waiting on. I think some of you guys are even expecting some sort of expecting something to come in, something to kind of chime in at one point, or expecting something to come into your life. Pretty much when I say come in, it means coming into your life. And in the meantime, you're kind of working on yourself, if that makes sense. I feel like with the Three of Wands, you're working on preparing whatever it is that's coming in. You're preparing yourself for that. Oof, sorry about the trip ups and the stuff that I've got going on with my mouth. And it's because of what you guys have manifested. You guys are like, I think some of you guys are in the dating game for real, and you guys see this person as just another candidate for a relationship, and you're trying to figure out which one stands out to you. So these people that are coming into your life are showing you a part of yourself that you kind of want to explore, that you kind of want to get some more information in, or you want to start spreading your wings and being yourself, right? So not that this person is like just a contender. I don't want to say that in regards to anybody else that's watching this as a cross watcher, but I think this person here is like looking at the other person and thinking, okay, this is my opportunity to be myself because of this person's putting me in this situation. And I feel like you two come together because of the Nine of Cups. You guys are both a wish or a dream come true, or at least in a place where you guys are content, right? You guys met in a situation where you guys were not wanting anything, you weren't desiring anything really. You guys are in a place where you guys are you're stable, and you're not in the sense of like you want things. You guys are going through a lot of changes, but I think for a lot of you guys, you kind of want to just, I think a lot of you guys are just in a place where you're not in a desire, I need this kind of feel. Like you guys are like, okay, I know what I want, I'm going to go for it, and that's pretty much all I'm going to do. I know what I need to do for that. So therefore, you guys are putting in the work to get that, get what you want. And I feel like if it was a relationship, if it was something to stabilize you or to help stabilize you rather, this is someone here that is coming to offset a lot of the imbalances in your life, which makes sense why you guys have the challenge of having a balance. Now, if some of you guys are not playing the dating game, if a lot of you guys are just, are in seeing someone exclusively and have been for a while, then this turmoil could be just about who you are and, how you would truly act in situations when it comes in. And I feel like some of you guys, your concentration has a lot to do with, with a lot of the turmoils and the conflicts that you're dealing with right now. Some of you guys may see this relationship as a constant conflict because this person is adamant about doing something themselves, and it can be frustrating because, right, this person may be ready to take on some stuff on their own, but this person is used to being independent, right? There's so many ways of reading this reading, right? I think this person's like, I'm waiting for you to give me a little bit of what you've got so we can start working on this. But every time this situation is brought up, this person's adamant about not letting the other person have this Ten of Pentacles, not having this burden that they're carrying, not at least pinching off a little piece for you to help carry. And I think, in this way you are ready. I think that's why I was saying, you know, somebody's ready to do something, but they're turmoil. They got turmoil. It's because I think this person wants some of this so they can help. I think this is a part of their dream too. Some of this is obviously, if you guys are working together to build a future and this person's not allowing you to help them, I think there's, you know, obviously you understand at this point, there's not much you can do at this point but wait and be patient and continue to do you. But every time you go and approach this person about letting them, you know, having some of this burden so they don't carry all of it all the time, it just feels like, you know, you're kind of left with nothing to do. You kind of just sitting there like, well, okay, well, I don't know what to do. So maybe you start doing little projects or doing a little something on the side for yourself because the other person is not letting you in. Because not because you want to be codependent, but because you want to be able to share in the burden. You want to spend more time with them. You have so much passion that you want to give to them. And maybe you want to spend more time together with each other. But the Six of Pentacles talks about a balance, talks about give and take, it talks about, you know, what's being offset in the relationship, who's getting more out of what, right? And I feel like this, even though this person may be willing to carry this load on their own, I feel like, you know, it's kind of leaving the relationship in a place where there isn't much to work on because it's not an equal playing field. Someone's got way lighter work than the other person on this side. And it's not because this person chooses to just give the work to the other person. I feel like this person's dominant about, and, you know, very strong, you know, strong about what they want to handle and what they don't want to handle. If that makes sense. At the same time, though, there's not much further that you can do, Taurus, if this is on you, right? If this is you, then there's not much you can do other than to continue to express to them what you need. Because if you are, you know, you're having inner turmoils about what to do and what you know, where you want to go. Because I feel like for some of you guys, you're ready to start something new. If it's not necessarily like getting a new relationship or moving house or whatever, just having a little more fun in your relationships, not being so serious. Because I think this person is very serious-minded. If you guys want to have more fun, right, I feel like that's the Page of Swords too. Communication, blunt communication, being honest with them. You guys have two cards. To the Sea and Unfinished Business. Unfinished Symphony. That is one hell of a pairing. And you know what, that card, To the Sea, I haven't seen in a very long time. You know that? I haven't seen To the Sea in a very long time. The message is crazy. So, like I was saying, with the To the Sea part, there's not much you guys really can do. You can't force somebody to give up their burden. But at the same time, if there's something that you want, that's something that you would like to have more of, like if it's quality time, spending time together and things like that, there is, you know, you may have to continue to communicate that. You may have to continue to, you know, either prepare yourself for handling their half of their load so that way you guys can spend more time together. But To the Sea talks about going with the flow, you know, not pushing or pulling, just kind of going and riding the waves. But then at the same time, you guys have Unfinished Symphony. I feel like there's a situation. The situation is constant. Like, whatever your situation is, no matter what relationship that you're in, you find yourself in the situation where the balance is fucked, right? Where the balance in your relationships could be better, but because somebody is too stubborn or somebody is very adamant about handling something because they're, you know, whatever their stance is very important, they have, you know, it compromises the relationship. And I don't know if it's true stubbornness here or if this is somebody that's tunnel visioning a situation, thinking that they need to do something when they don't need to at all. They need to just focus on their own half. But because they're taking up so much, they're leaving you with, you know, feeling kind of like, ready to start something, but you can't really start anything because you're waiting on them. You're in a good place. The Nine of Cups can indicate that. You met because you guys were both in each other's dreams. You guys are both you guys' heart's desires. And I think that's so beautiful. But the dynamic is the Six of Pentacles. What is everybody doing to keep the relationship in a very balanced state? Who's doing what and how does this relationship become more balanced? And I feel like I feel like this person is doing the work that they need to, or working really hard because maybe they have had instances where things weren't, you know, the way that they wanted, and therefore they just willingly take up the responsibility. And this person is just left to do, you know, whatever is available if the person needs help, but they are doing their own thing. They're continuing to grow and to continue to get to know themselves. But this person has a ton of weight on their back. And it's, again, like, this person may choose to keep it that way. These people may not realize that you're willing to take on that responsibility to help them, right? Again, this could be both sides, you know, either way. It could be you. It doesn't matter. But I feel that with Unfinished Symphony, there's some things. There's some sort of like reoccurrence to a lot of this message. The reoccurrence to this message is that you've been through something very similar to this. In order for there to be change, in order for there's things to be different, you have to be different. And I think it has a lot to do with being true to yourself, going by the book, going by who you are, going with the flow with who you are, going with the flow of the situation. If they're adamant about handling it themselves, I feel like the messages do what you feel is right for you. Right? If that's being adamant about taking on the half, or just completely just letting that person do their own thing, I feel like the best way to go is just let it flow. Right? The best way to go is to just let it flow. And I think that instead of just kind of being like, I need this, I need you to let me help you, and seeing this relationship as a bit of a charm, you know, a bit of a conflict, you know, ridden zone, I feel this person also feels like this is like a battlefield too. Like I said, someone seeing, you know, trying to, you know, if not being selfish, they see this as very competitive in the sense too. And I feel like sometimes, you know, that happens, and the only way you can kind of prove that you're not trying to compete is kind of let them do their thing and just be true to yourself. Conversations do help, but sometimes there's not much you can do. And honestly, at least for the other person, there's lots that you can do on your side, and staying true to yourself is honestly the best option, I feel. Really interesting reading this time around, Taurus, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys have been giving me. And I also want to thank you guys so much for commenting and subscribing to these videos, as well as liking. I do appreciate every last one of you. And I did mean what I meant in the very beginning, guys. Sending all the love to everybody, all my beautiful Taurians, all my Taurians that are being soldiers and trotting through the crazy storms that y'all be going through. I love you guys. Stay strong. And I will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody. Bye, guys.